Today, the podcast Digital Technology and Music Industry under the aegis of the project Digital Skills for Cultural and Creative Industries, supported by UNESCO. My name is Aika Aleme, and I have some amazing guests today that represent both sides of this equation. First of all, Andreem Даховский, who is a seasoned music industry executive, investor, and most recently founder and CEO of Juki Music from Kiev. Hi, Andreem. And the technology side, Dr. Frensis Teo, who is the Chief Technical Officer of AI TV Technologies and also AI analyst, developer, and philosopher who has 20 plus experience with developing artificial intelligence. Welcome, Dr. Frensis from Singapore. And of course, we start our technology in music industry discussion with recognizing both parts. And my first question to our guests is, what are the elements of digital technology and artificial intelligence in today's music industry? Frensis?
Well, okay. I hope that everybody can hear. All right, Eka. Let's take a deep dive into this, okay, to understand what are the digital technology that is actually happening in this music industry. From the very first spark to the final play, we started with the CDs, which is actually a quantum leap, right? Then it came to the MP3s. Then which actually shrunk our libraries down to pocket size, which is actually a true enabler. But the real shift was actually the internet. Napster actually showed us the power, even if it was the Wild Wild West, right? Then iTunes cleaned up give us the era of downloading. Now we have streaming, Spotify, Apple Music. It's the dominant model. We call it the celestial jukebox. For creation, we have DAW, like Logic or Pro Tools, which are our new studios. MIDI, MIDI, is the language that allows our synchronization and the computer to talk. Sampling is actually a fundamental, which flip all the old groups into new ones. And now, with AI, which is in the mix, which is the newest, it's not just a tool. It's becoming a collaborator or competitor. It can generate the music, beats, write lyrics, and even mix a track with services like Lendar, Landr, Lendar. On the business side, we even have blockchain, NFT. They allow us to have new ways to own and monetize, though it's still volatile. AR, VR is redefining the life experience. Let's not forget the social media. It's a new A&R, a new promo machine. What say you?
Yes, well, I'd like to explain to our listeners that DAW means Digital Audio Workstation,
Wow.
which produces the music, right?
Yes.
Andrew, anything to add? It's quite a comprehensive rundown of digital technology and music industry.
Right. Thank you, Francis. Very comprehensive timeline of how historically new stages of technology were achieved and how it changed the way music industry operates. Music industry is one of most conservative and closed and monopolized industries, and it's not very well adaptive for technology changes, and it resists to these changes from my personal experience. My background is academic. I've got PhD in theoretical physics, quantum mechanics, but my passion led me into music industry. And I worked for Universal Music for over a decade as CEO of their affiliate in Ukraine. And over the years, I've witnessed first appearance of internet, which changed the way music is distributed. Then blockchain era, which is trying to reform music royalties distribution, first of all. And now AI. So I welcome these technological shifts, and I think it's for better for music industry and makes it stronger and open for much more people nowadays than it was before. So music industry with these technological changes getting less monopolized, less closed, more democratic, more sharing economy.
Yeah, and we're moving towards the second question that I wanted to ask our experts is how the digital technology affecting the music industry and democratization.
So it actually affects the entire music industry. Yes, digital technology affects this music industry. It's a revolution. And it is a pivot point. Do we agree? We have
Yes.
gone from
it's a pivotal point because it's not about ownership anymore. It's about creating systems and getting access to them.
Yeah, we've gone from ownership to accesses. Fans don't buy albums anymore. They simply subscribe to a library. This saved the entire industry's revenue after the piracy crash. Just imagine the pirate music all over the world. But it created a new problem. The economics are broken. We are paid in fractions of a cent per stream instead of per music. It's a volume game now, which only works for the top 1%. For the rest, it is unsustainable. So what has happened now is actually we democratize creation. Anyone with a laptop can be a producer. Even a kid, 5 years old, 10 years old, can be a producer. But it actually also created a surveillance economy. Spotify knows when you skip a song, where you are, what time it is. They build a data double of you to sell ads and push playlists. That power has shifted from the labels to the platforms. The majors adapt, but the gatekeepers are now the algorithms.
So are you saying that the small guy, an independent artist or composer or author, became even smaller because digital technologies empowered the big labels and platforms?
Yes.
What are your views? Andre, I'd like to hear your point of view.
I agree with Francis. On one hand, these technological advances create illusion, not reality, but illusion of having more opportunity for do-it-yourself artists, for independent artists. I just mentioned that it's over 30 million of such artists in European Union only. So these guys mostly upload homemade tracks on streaming platforms, and for their passion, for their time, for their effort, they earn on average a cup of coffee at Starbucks for once a year. That's statistics. 90% of Spotify's income goes to less than 1% of artists, and no surprise that these artists are signed to 3 major labels, Universal, Sony, Warner. So actually 90% goes into the pockets of 3 major labels. And if we ask ourselves how fair are existing streaming music platforms are, we can set up a small experiment. Aika, Francis, me, we can subscribe to Spotify today for $10 monthly subscription fee, and we can choose a small artist and listen only to this artist during months period, and at the end of month period, this artist will receive nothing because Spotify, with its distribution system, are not paying artists who receive less than thousands of listens. And we cannot, three of us, cannot generate thousands of listens for one artist whom we want to support. So, but on the other hand, we paid $30. And Spotify takes about 30% commission. So that's $9. So my question is, where are the rest of money? Where are $21 from three of us who wish to support our small artists? This money goes to the pocket of major labels. That's how it works with streaming platforms. So you have to reach a recognition level. You have to generate hundreds, thousands, millions of streams to receive money to get noticed. And that's a huge problem for 99% of artists who are not signed to labels. So I would say, from my personal experience, I would not say that situation is getting better for independent artists. Probably it's not getting worse, but still it's not getting better.
So how is the independent artist should survive in this new digital music industry?
Well, this is a core crisis, right? Now, our biggest threat right now is AI, artificial intelligence. These companies are training their models on our live work. Every song on Spotify, without a license, without a dime. This is a theft on a massive scale now. They call it text and data mining. But it's using our IP to actually build a machine that can replace us. So how do we survive? Fight for your rights. But every single country have their own jurisdiction. Campaigns like Justice at Spotify are pushing for fair pay and transparency. Legally, it's a minefield. In the US, only human can hold copyright. So AI-generated music might not be protected, which could ironically let it undercut our human-made music. Yeah. In the UK, it's murky. The industry is pushing back against the law that would let this AI train on anything without consent. So what is our best defense? The best defense is to be irreplaceable. Irreplaceably a human. AI works on probability. So do the unexpected. Do what the AI will not do. Focus on your personality. People connect with artists, not just a song. So be authentic. Use live instrument and your real voice. The human touch is your superpower. And stay informed. Know what type
Your
of
soul,
you can actually
and your heart.
Yes, your soul and your heart is the most important. Yep.
Yeah, the connection and when people can relate to your emotions and your feelings. So AI is definitely, it looks like it's representing a threat to all the composers and poets and authors. So what are the, will humans actually lose the battle with AI then?
Well, recently I joined the National AI Association in the United States. There is statistics that on some major music streaming platforms, AI-generated music is about 20%. Every fifth composition is generated by AI. And I think, yes, it's some kind of threat for composers, for musicians, because it creates extra pressure, extra competition for them. On the other hand, I am totally agreeing with Francis. AI can calculate a pattern of hit song. I remember, if I remember correctly, Francis may correct me, It started from 2011. Researchers analyzed 15,000 of hit songs from different ages to create a pattern. But this perfect pattern, it never works without fans, because a hit formula, hit equation is fans plus song. It's never song itself. So if you don't have fans, okay, nothing works. So it's about network effect with fans. It's about your fan base. It's about how you engage them. Fans of Billie Eilish, they don't really care about what the new song will be produced by herself or by AI. They are amazed by her personality. So that's how it should work.
The way she dresses, the way she lives, the way she, I don't know, spends time with her friends, how she's close with her brother, and things like that.
Our job is to make music that feels like human, emotional, personal, and things that AI can't truly understand. And throw some dirty jokes and the ability to do things that AI don't understand. So that is what is human about us. Yeah. Well, ultimately, right, just imagine last time, hiring a composer is $500, but they can actually type a prompt into an AI tool and get 100 options for free. That's a direct job loss. So the only way is to make things that AI don't understand, is to be personal touch, the ability to create something, some jokes, the ability to make it emotional. AI don't understand.
Irrational, and also maybe the consciousness and the soul that's not seen, and the algorithm cannot read it. We actually touched upon how platforms and big majors, they're making it very difficult for small artists, and a lot of times small artists and just independent composers and poets and authors, they complain about how ethical these platforms are. What do you think about that, and where it's all going?
Sis, is totally not ethical at all. The complaints are totally 100% valid. Paying artists is actually having fractions of a second per stream. It's called exploitation. It's worse. To get on this platform, you often have to sign away your rights. You agree to their terms. You can give them a perpetual license to use your music for anything, including training of AI. That's forced consent. You don't really have a choice if you want to be heard, and that's not fair. And then there's the content. Some artists pull their music off the Spotify because of controversial podcasts. So it's not just about the money, it's about the platform value. They commodify the music and the data for profit.
But on the other hand, the artists can go directly to their fans and to their customers and their listeners, right?
Yeah.
Andrew, what do you think?
Most of artists we deal with in our startup Turkey are small artists with small fan bases, few hundreds to few thousands. And yes, of course, they utilize Spotify to get spotted maybe by someone. But in fact, they are spotted only by their fan base, because Spotify with over 50 million tracks looks like attic where you've been throwing different things for years, and then all of a sudden you're trying to find something. So it's not possible. So on one hand, yes, there is everything on Spotify. On the other hand, you can hardly find something which would be a great discovery for you because of its architecture, because how it operates. Spotify is firstly and mostly an distribution arm of three major labels, and they do what is good for major labels. And they dependent on major labels very much. About 60% of Spotify subscribers are interested in listening to catalog music, to Beatles, Elvis, Pink Floyd. 20% listening to both catalog and new music. And only 20% are looking for new artists, new trends, new music. So Spotify heavily depends on catalog music, which belongs 100% to three major labels. So they're not independent. They cannot experiment. They cannot propose something which is on collision course with major companies.
So it looks like the studios and streaming platforms, everyone that is at the gate of ecosystems, is against a small guy, against an independent artist, a performer, a composer, an author, a poet, a creator. And they're also taking a new friend, artificial intelligence, and becoming even stronger. Is there a way for us, the entrepreneurs and the creators, the normal people, is there a way out, and is there a solution for us?
Oh, well, that's the reason why I'm doing my startup. We create a community-focused platform with AI agent for scouting new talent and blockchain for community wisdom, fun engagement. We started as a music contest. We received a lot of proprietary data to train our future AI agent on. And we create a platform to fix broken industries R&D and to expand music market, just like Uber expanded taxi market. So potentially there are millions of music scouts, people who are called A&R in our industry's language,
artists and repertoire.
Mm-hmm. So I can bet that three of us had a moment when we first heard a new song, been amazed, and shared this song with our friend. And that's actually what A&Rs are doing. And they got paid for it, not like us, not like hundreds of millions of people who discovering new music for themselves and not get paid for this. So we are building a platform with economy sharing, where everyone who discovers a new music and supports new artists can get remuneration. I'm very much tired of the same 10 songs playlist on my home radio stations, which I listened to for years, and I want to change it. I want music industry to expand to be much more than just $30 billion market. And it can happen only if it will be open due to technology, open to hundreds of millions of people who can actively participate in this industry.
So the creators should become startuppers and entrepreneurs and use technology, use artificial intelligence to expand and to make it more diverse and more versatile. Francis, as a technologist,
I believe so.
What would you say?
I believe so. It is a very crucial, but you do not need to be a software engineer to be technically literate to do this. You need to understand how your DAW works, okay, how your MIDI works, and how your plugin communicate. This is all based on logic and code. But I think the best producers I know, they think like programmers. They actually solve problems, okay? They build systems, they automate the workflows like AI agents to automate the production of music. Yeah. Tools like Max or MSP are literally meant for making music with code. So in order to fight back against this AI, you need to understand how it works. So, but the thing is that you do not need to actually learn how to write C++ or any of the programming language, but you need to actually to be comfortable enough to deep dive into the technology and think it of learning it as a new instrument. Yeah, I believe the new era of a musician and a producer, they need to learn. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Like you don't need to code, but you need to think as a technologist, think as a
Yes, right.
as a digital music executive or a digital entrepreneur, because technology is part of our life as much as we accept it or deny it. You know, it doesn't ask us. It's like water, air, sun. It's ubiquitous. But of course, where could they study these new reality, and where can they learn about digital technologies?
I don't know. Currently, it's really all learned by ourselves. But I love to actually see some universities or some courses that's actually providing all this kind of learning experience.
From my experience, you know, sometimes creative people are afraid of technology, and let alone, you know, digital technology is like a black box for them, and they're kind of, oh, you know, just tell me where I need to push a button, and, you know, please don't complicate my life. I wanna create with my soul, and I want to be in my ideas and concepts. So they need to overcome this fear, right? Because technology is not going to kill you.
Well, once we for first time seen smartphones, and it seemed to us it was a complicated device. Now we're using it every day. I think everyone can adopt to technology, especially young people, new emerging artists who they have no other way than to adopt this technology, because it saves their creative life. It helps them every day. So they will adopt it. I don't see a problem here.
It's evolving so fast that even my grandma, 85 years old, is actually using the smartphone to do TikTok and create videos generation using AI. 85 years old. What is your mom doing back 50 years ago? The most complex thing that they ever have is just a dashboard on the car. But now with the new evolutions and with a new learning that's actually happening right now, all the 85 years old, they are actually playing with TikTok and are playing with a smartphone and using it as a camera. So what I'm trying to tell you is humanity has actually evolved, and their learning experience has actually turned into a new way whereby everybody is adapting.
Okay. Well, I really like this optimistic outlook. But one issue that really worries and warrants some precision is the intellectual property protection, because the copyright law and everything that existed before the digital revolution is actually trying to catch up with the digital disruption. So, you know, there's this text and data mining that Francis mentioned. So how do you see it's evolving? And because, like, for example, in some countries, AI is not recognized as a copyright author, and they're not subject to copyright law. So what is your take on what's going on, and where is it evolving?
Well, you're talking about US, right? There's no AI cannot be an author, but in UK it's murkier. So basically, well, it really depends on jurisdiction of each country. Well, the real fight is actually on the text and data mining part. That's the process of feeding all the music into AI. So this is a legal gray area, in fact. So while the music industry is screaming for change, we need new licensing frameworks. whereby AI companies have to pay to use music for training. So there's also the passing of laws. If someone uses AI to fake your voice to sell something, you might have a case like in California. Yep. But overall, the legal tools right at this very moment aren't strong enough. It's a battle we are fighting against in the courts and legislation. So probably we need to have a very good union to do that.
Andre, I know your startup is actually tackling one aspect of the digital rights management. What is your view on this?
Well, we are very serious about copyright protection, and that's fundamental thing for music industry. Without copyright protected, there will be no industry. And we first create a solid legal framework in our startups, and then we ask for technology and create a platform. And I think there is a huge loophole in how AI is trained nowadays, and particularly speaking about music, you should realize that how it happened that 20% of composition on the music streaming platform is generated by AI. Why they are so good that they take 20% share of all listens? They are so good because they were trained on massive data sets of music and learned from these data sets. And now they are just kicking out artists on whose music they've been trained. So as Francis said, it's not right, it's not fair. And most of AI companies are not disclosing the training data like ChatGPT, OpenAI. And I think that's will be a legal battle in nearest future. So this should be regulated and normalized, because nowadays those companies which have production of AI music, they have unfair advantage.
Mm-hmm. So I hear things like be more human, be more emotional, be authentic, be yourself. I hear things like small guys could defend their rights, and they need to know their rights. They need to learn technology. And I hear things that there will be a legal battle, that copyright is still at the core of the music industry. But where is the industry and the technology going? Because creativity and technology go hand in hand, and they're, probably crossing the new frontiers now. How do you see the future of the music industry in the digital age in the next 5 to 10 years?
Let me answer this, okay, Aika. It's actually like it's a constant flux, like the yin and yang. Yeah. Well, you will be seeing that the streaming will stay dominant, but the fight for fair pay will still continue. Nobody wants to actually be being paid penny for their works. Okay. So AI will be deeply integrated for creating music, for marketing, for recommendation. It's going to be a huge challenge for our human artists. So our best bet is still based on what you have mentioned, and we keep on focusing on this: humanity, authenticity, and direct connection with the fans. So that's the best bet for all the small timers. So, but we are actually also seeing that there will be more blockchain and NFT for direct artist to fan sales. With that, we will be able to see transparent royalty tracking, because while the NFT is still very volatile, while our VR and AR, virtual reality as well as augmented reality, could change how live shows can allow our people experience concert from home. So the main key for the policy makers, right, is to need to step in to protect the creators. If we could not get fair rules for the AI and streaming, the industry could become a place whereby only the tech giants as well as the absolute biggest star can thrive, and everyone else get squeezed out. It is a pivotal moment. We need to shape it, not just to be shaped by it. That's my answer.
Very well said. And I can add a little bit from the other angle. As I learned from latest governmental reports in United States, less than 10% of big US corporations are actually utilizing AI. Although all of them declare that AI is revolution and it's so good, but on practice, they're not utilizing it. The reason is a huge friction inside these corporations because they have already invested a lot of time and money into the world of yesterday, and it's very difficult for them to pivot for the world of tomorrow. And lawyers are concerned because AI in a gray zone, and by default they're saying no to every new proposal to integrate AI into everyday operations. Middle-level managers are concerned that AI killed the job of lower manager, so they potentially could be the next victim. And HR also resisting because that's their bread and butter to hire people, and they don't want to handle it to AI. So lots of humans inside huge corporations are resistant to integrating AI in everyday operations. They have incentives to do so. So it's up to small companies, to startups, which have no such lots of invested things.
Legacy.
Yes, lots of legacy. And they're not afraid to lose it, to experiment. So that's the future.
They travel light, and thank you so much for this.
They will disrupt this world of tech giants.
Yeah.
Welcome to the future of AI music. Oh,
Definitely.
Right.
Yes. Our world is, of course, full of threats and full of new challenges, but it's also full of excitement and new opportunities. And I really hope that independent artists and authors and composers and poets and performers and labels will find their way in the new digital music industry. And I want to thank our experts, Andreem Даховский from Kiev and Dr. Frэнsisom Teo from Singapore, for joining us, our digital skills for cultural and creative industries, and our podcast dedicated to digital technology and music industry.
Thank you, Aika, for hosting us. Very
thank
good
you, Aika.
questions.
Yeah, thank you.